All right, wake up, DC. Wake up, DMV. It is Friday, January 23rd, 2026. And look, if you're sitting out there right now, stuck on 495, right? Or maybe you're at your desk pretending to work, and you're thinking, oh, the season's over. I can chill. I can relax.
Yeah.
Oh, you are absolutely tripping. You are dead wrong. Listen to me. The board is moving. The pieces are sliding across the table as we speak. This joint is heating up faster than a carryout on a Friday night. We are not in the off season. We are in the get-right season.
It definitely feels like the calm before the storm. But if you actually, look at the radar, the storm is already here. And look, I appreciate the energy. I really, really do. But we have to be real about the stakes here for a second. We are coming off a season where this defense finished ranked 28th in the league.
28th.
28th. I mean, that is basement level. That is cellar dweller status. That is just, it's unacceptable for a franchise with this history. So if Adam Peters and this front office mess up the next 3 months, we aren't just staying in the cellar. We are locking the door from the inside.
Man, kill that noise. We ain't locking nothing but a playoff spot next year, Mo. Because the news we got today, it changes everything. We got 3 massive stories we have to unpack, and all of them are game changers. First up, the draft board just got flipped completely on its head. Fernando Mendoza, the Indiana Hoosier himself, he has officially declared, and I'm going to tell you exactly why that kid is the ultimate cheat code for us sitting there at pick number 7.
It is a significant development, I'll grant you that. It changes the math, fundamentally. But we also have to talk about the drama out west. Brandon Aiyuk is officially done with the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, the bridge isn't just burned, it's been incinerated.
Hold on.
And with that Jaden Daniels connection from their Arizona State days, everyone is screaming reunion.
Whoa.
But I'm looking at the red flags, and they are glowing bright red. We need to decide if this is a masterstroke or if it's a trap.
It's a reunion, Mo. It's destiny. We go get into all that. And finally, the coaching carousel is spinning like crazy. We got David Blau taking the keys to the offense and the search for the defensive coordinator. It's getting wild. We're talking interviews with coaches from the Steelers, the Chiefs, the Bears. We got to figure out who is going to come in here and finally fix this defense.
That is the most critical piece of the puzzle. You can draft all the talent in the world, but if you don't have the architect to build the house, it just falls down. We have to get the DC hire right.
Yeah, exactly. So buckle up. We got a lot to get into. Let's get into the deep dive.
Let's start with the draft. Because this morning, I mean, the entire landscape just shifted.
Okay, let's unpack this right here. The breaking news is Fernando Mendoza, the QB from Indiana, the man who just led the Hoosiers to a national championship, undefeated season, Heisman Trophy winner. The kid is the truth, straight up. And he just officially put his name in the hat for the NFL draft.
And let's be clear for you listening, this wasn't a guarantee, not at all. There was some legitimate speculation he might just run it back, try to go back-to-back in college. There was talk about NIL money, keeping him in school for 1 more year. But he's coming out. And we need to look at his profile here because it matters for the whole context of the draft. This isn't just a good college quarterback. I mean, the stats are insane. He threw 41 touchdowns. 41. And only 6 interceptions.
Wow.
His decision-making is elite. He operates that offense with a kind of maturity of processing speed that you rarely see at the collegiate level. He is, by all accounts, the total package.
He's a baller, a straight-up baller. But here is where it gets really interesting for us. We don't need a quarterback. We got Jaden Daniels. That's our guy. That is the franchise. We all saw enough last year to know that Jaden is the future. So why am I hyped about a QB declaring?
Right.
Why am I popping bottles? Because an Indiana QB is turning pro. Because Mel Kiper, the hair himself, just dropped his latest mock draft. And he has Mendoza going number 1 overall to the Las Vegas Raiders. Number 1.
And that placement, that is the key insight here. It's all about the scarcity of the position in this specific draft class. You look around, and all the other top names, they decided to stay in school. Dante Moore at Oregon. He's going back. Darian Mensah at Duke, staying put. Mendoza is the only true blue-chip quarterback prospect on the board.
Okay, hold up. For the casuals listening, break down what blue chip actually means. What are we saying there?
A blue-chip prospect is a player you project as a day 1 starter with legit all-pro potential. It's someone who creates a talent tier all by themselves. I mean, the next guy up after Mendoza is Ty Simpson from Alabama, and frankly, the gap is massive. Kiper doesn't even have Simpson coming off the board until, pick 16 to the Jets? So if you are a team in the top 5 or the top 10 and you need a franchise changer at QB, Mendoza is literally the only option. He's the only water in the desert.
Think about that math, Mo, just for a second. If Mendoza goes number 1, that pushes every other elite player down 1 spot. And who are the Raiders? What are they? They are desperate. They're starving for a quarterback. You saw what happened with Geno Smith there last year.
It was a disaster. I mean, there is no other way to put it. An absolute disaster. Geno Smith ranked 27th out of 28 qualified quarterbacks in QBR.
27th.
Total quarterback rating, he posted a 34.1 score. And just for context, an average starter is usually around 50 or 60.
That's bad.
That's terrible. And he threw 17 interceptions in just 15 games. The Raiders cannot go into next season with that quarterback room. They just can't. They have weapons. They've got Ashton Jeanty, who is a beast at running back. They have Brock Bowers at tight end. But they have no trigger man. They are what you call a forced buyer. They have to take Mendoza.
Right. So the Raiders take Mendoza at 1. Boom. That means one of the non-QB players, one of those guys who should be a top 5 lock, he's going to slide. And we are just sitting there at number 7 waiting, waiting to catch him. We're talking about the Mendoza effect. He is the cheat code because he forces offensive players up the board and defensive studs right down to us. It's simple physics, man. If a QB goes up, a pass rusher comes down.
It is the absolute best case scenario for a team that desperately needs defensive help. The draft logic is simple. If the Raiders take a QB, that's 1 less defensive player taken before Washington picks. And when you look at the talent at the very top of this draft, it's remarkably heavy on defense. It's loaded with the exact things we need.
Heavy is an understatement. We are talking about absolute dogs. Let's talk about who could fall to us. Mel Kiper's mock has us looking at some monsters. First name on the list, Arvell Reese, linebacker. Ohio State. Now, I know, we spent money on linebackers before, but this kid is different.
Reese is a fascinating prospect. I mean, in a modern NFL where you need linebackers who can cover ground against these fast slot receivers and running backs, he is the prototype. Scouts are calling his instincts supernatural.
Supernatural.
What that really means is his processing speed, how fast he diagnoses run versus pass. It's instantaneous. He's diagnosing the play before the center even snaps it. He can fly sideline to sideline. If you are trying to fix a defense that was 28th in the league, putting a quarterback on defense, which is what a middle linebacker is a very smart way to start.
The man is a heat-seeking missile. I'm serious. I watched his tape against Michigan. He was in the backfield before the handoff even happened. He plays angry. And that's what we need. We need some anger on this defense. We were way too nice last year. But hold up, what about the edge rushers? Because I love a good pass rush. We got David Bailey from Texas Tech. People are comparing this dude to a young Von Miller. Do you know how rare that is to get that kind of bend, that kind of explosion off the edge?
Bailey is explosive, yes.
Yeah.
His get-off, the time it takes for him to move after the ball snaps is truly elite. He puts stress on the offensive tackle immediately. But then there's also Ruben Bain from Miami. He's a different kind of animal. He's, 6'2", 260. He plays with leverage and power. He converts speed to power better than literally anyone in this class. If he gets under your pads, you are going backwards, right into your own quarterback.
On Muva, I want all of them. Can we trade for 3 picks in the first round? Nah, I'm playing. But seriously, this is the scenario. We sit at 7. We don't trade up. We don't give away any capital. We just let the draft come to us. We eat. It's a guaranteed superstar falling right into our lap.
Well, let's tap the brakes a little bit on guaranteed.
Man, Mo.
I agree that the Mendoza declaration helps us immensely, but we have to consider the wild card scenario. We're just assuming picks 2 through 6 go a certain way. We're assuming teams stick to the script. But what if a team panics? What if the Giants or the Titans reach for Ty Simpson way earlier than projected?
Man, if they reach for Ty Simpson in the top 6, I will drive to their headquarters and shake their GM's hand. Because that just pushes another defensive beast down to us. That helps us. If the Giants take a QB, that means Arvell Reese or Ruben Bain is still sitting there for the taking.
That's true. If more quarterbacks fly off the board, defensive players will fall. My concern is actually the opposite. What if the top 6 teams decide they don't like the other QBs and they just gobble up all the defensive talent? What if the teams ahead of us look at the board, see that Ty Simpson is a reach, and just decide to take the sure things? What if Reese, Bailey, and Bain are all gone by pick 7?
Don't you put that evil in the air, Mo. Don't do it. Look at the board, man. Yeah. The teams ahead of us, they need offense too. There's going to be a run on tackles or receivers. Someone is going to take a wideout. The math says one of those 3 defenders is there. You got the Titans. They always need linemen. The Giants need everything. Someone is taking an offensive tackle.
The math suggests it, yes, but the draft is. It's unpredictable. However, I will concede this. Mendoza declaring makes it much, much more likely. It increases the probability significantly. And considering the state of our defense, we need a blue-chip talent. We don't need a solid starter. We don't need another depth piece. We need a game wrecker. We need someone who changes the geometry of the entire field.
Exactly. We need a dude who walks onto the field, and the offensive coordinator on the other side goes, ooh, damn, where is he? Slide the protection. We haven't had that in a minute on the edge. We need that fear factor back. And Mendoza going #1 gives us that chance. It's the domino that knocks everything else into place for us.
And remember, Mel Kiper's mock currently has Bain falling to us at 7. If that holds, you are adding a premier defensive end to a line that desperately needs to generate pressure without blitzing. That's how you fix a 28th ranked defense. You win with 4. You have to be able to rush 4 and drop 7 into coverage. If you have to blitz to get pressure, good quarterbacks will pick you apart. Bain allows you to win with 4.
We winning with 4? Stamp that. I'm telling you, this draft is going to be special. I can feel it. But the draft ain't the only place we can find talent. And this next topic? Oh, boy. This is the one that has the group chats going crazy right now. We got to talk about Brandon Aiyuk.
This is a complex situation. It's messy. It's messy. Very, very messy.
It's spicy is what it is.
Oh,
okay, so for you listeners who haven't been refreshing Twitter every 5 seconds, Brandon Aiyuk is done in San Francisco. The 49ers basically kicked him out the door. Yeah. It wasn't a thank you for your service tweet. It was a don't let the door hit you move.
I'd say it's even worse than that. This was a systematic dismantling of a relationship. Let's look at the timeline here because the details really matter. He starts the 2025 season on the PUP list, physically unable to perform with a knee injury. Okay, that happens. Football is a violent game. But then in December of 2025, just a month ago, the 49ers make a move you almost never see with a star player. They put him on the reserve left squad list.
Left squad? What even is that? That sounds like he quit the team in the middle of a game like Antonio Brown or something. That sounds crazy.
Effectively, yes. That designation is extremely rare. It usually means the player left the team without permission. It implies he was banned from the facility for the rest of the season. It means either he packed his bags and went home or they told him to go home. And then the 49ers front office, we're talking John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, they voted a huge chunk of his guaranteed money for 2026. They hit him in the wallet. That is the ultimate sign of, we are done with you.
Oh, yeah.
You don't take money out of a player's pocket unless you are ready for war.
And the quote's coming out right. Lack of communication, unfortunate and confusing actions. That's just polite talk for this dude was a headache. But look, one man's headache is another man's cure. And we might have a cure right here in D.C. because of one name, Jaden Daniels.
The Arizona State connection.
The Sun Devils. Mo. You remember them at ASU. That highlight reel. Aiyuk was Jaden's #1 target. They didn't just play together. They had a mind meld. Jaden would throw it before Aiyuk even broke his route. The chemistry is already baked in. There is no getting to know you phase. There is no OTA learning curve. They step on the grass, and it's instant production.
I understand the allure of the chemistry. I really do. On paper, it sounds fantastic. It sounds like a Madden trade you make at 2 a.m., but we have to look at the reality of the situation. Why did a stable, well-run organization like the San Francisco 49ers feel the need to nuke the relationship? The 49ers tolerate personalities. They have big stars. Why was Aiyuk the line in the sand for them?
Because they wouldn't pay him what he wanted. It's always about the money. He wanted that top-tier receiver money. And they have Purdy to pay. They have Bosa to pay. It was a squeeze.
But it wasn't just money. They voided the guarantees after the behavior issues. That left squad designation suggests he walked out or refused to do something. That screams locker room cancer to me. And we have to ask ourselves, we just fired Cliff Kingsbury. We just fired Joe Witt Jr. We are trying to reset the culture here. Do we really want to bring in a guy who just blew up his last team? Do we want to inject that potential toxicity into a young locker room?
But that was that team. Maybe he hated Shanahan. Maybe he didn't vibe with that locker room. With Jaden, it's different. Jaden is his boy. You don't act up when you're playing with your quarterback. Jaden can keep him in check. That friendship matters.
That puts a lot of pressure on a second-year quarterback, doesn't it? To also be the babysitter for a veteran wide receiver. I mean, that's asking Jaden to do a lot more than just read defenses. We want Jaden focusing on cover 2 and cover 3, not focusing on whether his wide receiver is happy with his targets.
It's not babysitting, it's partnership. Imagine the field, Mo. Terry McLaurin on one side, Scary Terry. The captain, Brandon Aiyuk on the other side. And hey, maybe Deebo Samuel comes back too. You never know. That is a trio that keeps defensive coordinators up at night. You can't double everyone. If you double Terry, Aiyuk is one-on-one. If you double Aiyuk, Terry's eating. Jaden would be dissecting people. It's a pick your poison offense. It opens up the run game, too, because you can't stack the box.
It is a tantalizing vision. I agree. Aiyuk, when he is healthy and when he is focused, is an elite route runner. He separates. He's tough after the catch. He fits what Jaden does well, timing and anticipation.
Right.
But let's talk about the other elephant in the room, the knee.
He's got time to heal. It's January. The season starts in September. That's plenty of time.
He missed the entire 2025 season. We don't know the extent of the damage or the recovery. We don't know if he has the same explosion. We don't know if he can still cut on a dime. Aiyuk's whole game is built on suddenness. If he loses 5% of that burst, is he still Brandon Aiyuk? You're talking about paying for a guy who has injury questions, A&D character concerns. That is a dangerous cocktail. That is how you get fired as a GM.
But that's why it's a gamble worth taking.
Yeah.
Because the carry, the injury, the drama, he's going to be cheap. He's going to be on a discount. We ain't got to pay him $30 million a year. We can give a prove-it deal 1 year.
Yeah.
Low risk, high reward. If he acts up, cut him. It cost us nothing. But if he hits, oh my God, if he hits, we got a #1 receiver for pennies on the dollar. That's how you build a roster. You find value where other people see problems.
A prove-it deal does mitigate the financial risk. I'll grant you that. If Adam Peters can structure a contract so we can get out easily, maybe heavy on per-game roster bonuses or something, it becomes more palatable. If he only gets paid when he plays, that aligns the incentives. But the cultural risk remains. What if he comes in and starts complaining about targets because Terry is getting the ball more? That toxicity spreads. It infects the younger guys.
Nah, Jaden stamps him. If Jaden says, I want him, you go get him. That's my quarterback. You got to make your quarterback happy. If Jaden looks Adam Peters in the eye and says, bring me my guy, I can handle him, then you sign the check. Simple as that. You empower your franchise QB.
Stamp that, huh? I suppose if Jaden vouches for him personally, it carries a lot of weight. But Adam Peters has to do his own homework. He can't just take Jaden's word for it. He has to sit Aiyuk down, look him in the eye, and ask, what happened in San Francisco? And if the answer is anything other than taking full accountability, you walk away. You cannot inherit someone else's problem unless they admit it was a problem to begin with. If he blames everyone else, he's going to blame everyone here too.
I feel you. I feel you. You got to do the due diligence. You can't be blind.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, the upside is just crazy. Imagine Aiyuk in this offense. It's scary. It takes us from a borderline playoff team to a Super Bowl contender instantly.
It is high variance. It could be the move of the year, or it could be the reason the locker room fractures in November. That's why they get paid the big bucks to make that decision. It's not an easy call.
Speaking of people getting paid to make decisions, let's talk about the people holding the clipboards. The coaching staff is getting a facelift. We got some youngins running the show on offense and a battle royale for the defense.
The coaching carousel is spinning fast. Let's start the offense because the continuity there is interesting.
David Blau, the new OC, promoted from assistant QB coach. Like, I know people are going to say, whoo, but this is the guy Jaden trusts. They have that relationship. And look who he brought with him, DJ Williams as the QB coach. Doug Williams' son. That's royalty in D.C., man.
That is a great story. The lineage is strong. DJ has been grinding in the coaching ranks for a while.
And Danny Etling is the assistant QB coach. They all played together or coached together. It's a young staff. It's fresh. It's not some old head trying to force a 1990s offense on a 2026 team. I love the vibes. It feels like the McVay effect. Young, energetic, relatable.
Vibes are great, but experience wins games. This is a very, very young offensive staff. Blau has never called plays at this level as a full-time OC. DJ Williams is talented, but he's young. Etling is straight out of the UFL. It's a gamble on youth and comfort for Jaden. My concern is, when defenses adjust in Week 8, when the tape is out on Blau's tendencies, do these guys have the experience to adjust back? Can they out-scheme a guy like Spagnuolo or Jim Schwartz in a playoff game?
They got creativity, Mo. They ain't stuck in their ways. They're hungry. They're going to be watching tape until 4 a.m. But okay, offense is cool. We know they're going to score. Jaden is going to ball. The real question, the million-dollar question, is who is fixing this defense? Joe Witt Jr. is out. Dan Quinn needs a new right-hand man.
The list of candidates is extensive. It tells me Quinn is casting a wide net. He's not just hiring his buddy immediately. He's looking at real options. He knows his job might depend on this hire.
He tried to hire his buddy. He wanted Brian Flores, but Flores got that bag to stay in Minnesota. We missed out on him. That one hurts because Flores is a dog.
Flores would have been the dream hire. His aggressive style fits perfectly with what we need. But he's off the table. He signed the extension. It's done.
So who's left? We got Terrell Austin from the Steelers. He's an OG. He's been around forever. But honestly, it feels like he's just looking for a life raft because Tomlin left Pittsburgh. Is he hungry? Or is he just looking for a check?
That's a fair question. Austin provides a high floor. He's competent, he's experienced, but is he innovative? Then you have Jonathan Gannon, the ex-Cardinals head coach.
Kill that noise.
Yeah.
Immediately. I don't want nothing to do with Gannon. He got fired after 2 years in Arizona. His defense in the Super Bowl with the Eagles got absolutely shredded in the second half. He talks a big game, but the product on the field, trash. Next.
I share your skepticism there. I don't think his scheme fits our personnel, and his recent track record is poor. Then there's Denard Wilson, local guy, DeMatha High School. Played for the Redskins back in '04. He was the DC for the Titans.
I like the local angle, the DMV to the bone thing. We love our own. But was the Titans' defense scary? I don't remember being scared of them.
They were solid, but not spectacular. He's a safe pick, maybe not a splashy one. But really, this search has narrowed down to two main philosophies for me. It's the familiarity pick versus the DNA pick.
Break that down. Who are we talking about?
The familiarity pick is Al Harris. Currently with the Bears, formerly with Quinn in Dallas. He knows the system inside and out. He speaks Quinn's language. If you hire Harris, the transition is seamless. The players don't have to learn a whole new vocabulary or scheme. They can hit the ground running in OTAs.
I like Al Harris. The players love him. He's a former player, a corner. He's got that swag. He wears the jewelry on the sideline.
Right.
And we need help in the secondary bad. Our corners were getting toasted last year. If your DC is a DB guru, that helps. He can teach them how to press, how to find the ball in the air.
True. Al Harris is a fantastic developer of talent in the secondary. You just have to look at what he did with Trayvon Diggs in Dallas. But then there's the DNA pick. Joe Cullen, the defensive line coach for the Kansas City Chiefs.
The dynasty.
Exactly. He has been in the room while Steve Spagnuolo built those championship defenses. He knows what a dominant defensive line looks like. He understands how to win in January. He brings that Chiefs DNA, that expectation of excellence. And for a team that has been soft in the trenches, bringing in a D-line specialist as your DC, that sends a message.
See, that's tough. That's a tough one. Because I want the swag of Al Harris, but I want the rings of Joe Cullen. We need toughness. Our D-line got pushed around way too much last year.
Yeah.
Payne and Allen need a wake-up call. If Cullen can come in here and make Payne and Allen play like all-pros again and develop whoever we draft at number 7, that might be the move.
I lean towards Cullen. We need a culture shock in the trenches. The familiarity with Harris is nice, comfortable even. But we don't need comfort. We need to be challenged. We need that championship standard. We need someone who isn't afraid to flip a table if the run defense is soft. Cullen brings that intensity.
I feel that. I really do. But Al Harris, man, having a guy who knows the scheme means we start fast. We don't spend half the season learning a new defense. It's plug and play. And Dan Quinn needs to win now. He might not have time to install a whole new system with Cullen.
It's the classic debate, continuity versus innovation. Quinn has a tough choice. Does he double down on his own system with Harris, or does he bring in fresh ideas and a different standard with Cullen?
Whoever it is, they better be ready to work. Because this fan base, we are tired of being 28th. We are tired of seeing receivers running free. Fix it. That's the job description. Fix it. I don't care if you have to play cover 0 or cover 4 every single snap. Just stop the other team.
Simple as that. Results matter.
All right, let's wrap this up. We covered a lot of ground today.
We did. A lot.
Let's put the stamp on it. Mendoza declaring for the draft. That's the green light. That's the cheat code. It means we are getting a premier defender at pick 7. Whether it's Reese, Bailey, or Bain, we are getting a stud.
The math is in our favor. We just have to make the right pick. Don't overthink it. Just take the best defender on the board.
The Aiyuk situation. It's a gamble, but scared money don't make no money. If Jaden says yes, I say yes. Bring him home. Let's build a super team.
Proceed with extreme caution. Check the knee, check the head. But the talent is undeniable. If the price is right, you have to explore it.
And the coaches. Blows is the guy for Jaden. The DC search is the most important hiring of the year. I'm leaning Al Harris. You're leaning Joe Cullen. We're going to see who Dan Quinn picks.
It's going to define the season. It really is.
Now, before we get out of here, I want to leave you listeners with one thought. Something to chew on while you're stuck in traffic on 495.
What's on your mind?
Okay, so we talked about drafting a defender at number 7. Probably a front 7 guy, an edge, or a linebacker. If we do that, does that mean we have to spend big money in free agency on quarterbacks? Because we can't ignore the secondary. So if we use our top pick on the front, do we have to drop a bag on a veteran corner? Or do we trust this new DC, whoever it is, to just coach up the young guys we already have?
That is the ultimate resource allocation question, isn't it? Can you coach up average talent, or do you need to buy elite talent? With the cap space we have, maybe you try to do both. But you can't leave the secondary naked if you invest in the pass rush. They work hand in hand. A good pass rush helps your corners, but good corners give the pass rush time to get home.
Exactly. It's a puzzle, Mo. And I can't wait to see how they put it together.
It's going to be a fascinating few months.
All right, that's it for us today. To all the youngins, all the old heads, everybody repent the Burgundy and Gold. Keep your head on a swivel. The news is breaking fast. Make sure you subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We are locked in.
Stay analytical, stay skeptical, but stay supportive.
Man, kill that skeptical stuff. We go into the Super Bowl. Catch y'all on the flip side. HTTR.